You wake up in the dark, shaking. In your dream, your dead mother was alive. She spoke to you. She warned you about something beyond the trees. Now the fire is dying, the forest is moving, and your brain is facing a question no animal can answer. If she is dead, who just spoke? That question may be where the gods began. Not with a temple, not with a priest, not with someone staring at lightning and failing science class several 100,000 years early. The first religious thought may have started with something more intimate, a dream, a death, and a mind powerful enough to imagine that a person could exist even when their body was gone. We do not know exactly when humans first believed in gods. Belief leaves no fossil. You cannot dig up a thought, brush off the dirt, and place it in a museum. But archaeology shows that humans began treating the dead in unusual ways very early. Some deliberate burials may reach back roughly 120,000 years, and a child buried in Kenya about 78,000 years ago was carefully placed in a grave. A grave does not automatically prove religion. People may bury bodies for hygiene, grief, or protection from scavengers, but it proves something important. The dead still belonged to the group. And once a person remains important after death, the distance between memory and spirit becomes surprisingly small. Now add dreams. Even today, people regularly dream about relatives who have died. They speak, give advice, and appear healthy again. You wake up knowing the person is dead, but emotionally for a few seconds, that knowledge does not matter. They were just there. For a prehistoric human with no concept of the brain generating simulated people, that experience would not feel imaginary. It would feel like contact. Maybe the person had not vanished. Maybe some invisible part of them survived. Maybe sleep allowed the living and the dead to meet. That does not give you a god yet, but it gives you a soul. It gives you ancestors who may still watch, warn, protect, or become angry. But dreams were probably only one ingredient. The human brain has another habit that is incredibly useful and occasionally spectacularly wrong. It searches for agents. Imagine hearing grass move behind you at night. It might be the wind, it might be a leopard. Assuming probably nothing may feel calm, it may also get you eaten. Assuming something did that keeps you moving. Paranoid? A little? Alive? More often, over generations, natural selection rewarded brains that were quick to detect intention. A branch moves, something moved it. A disease enters the camp, something may have sent it. This system finds predators, rivals, allies, and hidden danger. But it does not switch off because the real cause is invisible. So storms can feel angry. Rivers can feel generous. Forests can feel watchful. The world begins to look less like objects and more like a society filled with unseen personalities. Researchers debate its importance, but it helps explain why human-like spirits recur across cultures. The brain was already built to understand minds. Religion may have extended that ability beyond visible bodies. Then there was uncertainty. Prehistoric life was basically an endless customer service call with nature. Except nature never answered and occasionally sent a drought. A hunt succeeds, then fails. A healthy child becomes sick. Lightning destroys one tree but leaves another. Humans do not merely ask what happened, we ask why. And there was no reason is an emotionally terrible answer. Ritual offered another possibility. Perhaps the hunt succeeded because the correct dance was performed. Perhaps the rain came because an offering was made. Perhaps illness spread because a rule was broken. From a scientific perspective, those connections may be false. But psychologically, ritual does something real. It turns helpless waiting into action. It gives fear a structure, grief a sequence, and the group something to do when nobody knows what to do. And doing things together matters. Singing together, moving together, mourning together, and repeating costly ceremonies can create trust and belonging. The ritual says, we are the people who do this. Now belief is no longer trapped inside one person's dream. It becomes shared memory, shared behavior, shared identity. This may be how private supernatural experiences became something closer to religion. Not one person seeing a dead relative. An entire community agreeing that the ancestors are present. Not one hunter carrying a lucky object. A whole group performing the same ceremony before the hunt. Stories then carried invisible beings across generations. The river flooded is information. The river spirit became angry because the rule was broken is a story. A story tells you what happened, who caused it, and how to prevent it next time. It is memorable. It is teachable. And it gives the universe a personality. Over time, local spirits and remembered ancestors could become larger beings. A powerful ancestor becomes the protector of a lineage. The protector becomes the guardian of a village. The guardian becomes the god of a kingdom. But this was not one universal staircase followed by every culture. Some traditions emphasized ancestors, animals, landscapes, or spirits. Some developed many limited gods. Others described a single creator or moral authority. Religion was never one invention. It was thousands of cultural experiments built from similar minds. And as societies grew, some gods changed. In a small band, everyone knows who stole the food. In a city of thousands, anonymity becomes a problem. Belief in supernatural beings who see hidden actions and punish wrongdoing may help extend cooperation beyond family and close friends. Research has linked beliefs in knowledgeable, punitive gods with generosity toward distant members of the same religious community. But the historical order is debated. Did moralizing gods help create large societies? Or did large societies create a need for moralizing gods? The honest answer may differ from place to place. Gods were not only explanations for thunder. They became ancestors, judges, protectors, witnesses, rulers, and symbols of the group itself. So why did humans start believing in gods? Probably not for one reason. We dreamed about the dead. We detected minds behind uncertain events. We feared death. We searched for causes. We created rituals to control anxiety. We told stories to preserve knowledge. We used shared beliefs to hold communities together. None of this proves that gods are real, and none of it proves that they are not. Science can study why the human mind is receptive to religious ideas. It cannot excavate the supernatural and place it under laboratory lighting, but it can tell us something remarkable. The same brain that imagined invisible minds also imagined tomorrow. The same mind that created ritual created music. The same storytelling ability that produced myths eventually produced philosophy, history, and science. Belief may not have begun because ancient humans were unintelligent. It may have begun because human intelligence crossed a strange threshold. We could remember people who were absent, love people who were dead, fear events that had not happened, and imagine minds we could not see. Once humans could do all of that, a completely silent universe may have become almost impossible to accept. The gods may have begun the first time someone looked into the darkness, felt they were not alone, and gave the unseen a name.